Israelis woke up today to find their worst nightmares had come true in the form of a massive surprise attack by Palestinian militants in Gaza into the south of this country. As we speak, Palestinian gunmen are inside Israeli towns and cities, and they are fighting running gun battles against Israeli forces trying to regain control. Hamas, the powerful militant group which controls Gaza, says it has taken Israelis hostage and it has taken them back inside the Strip. Now, as you said, this assault began early this morning under a barrage of thousands of rockets, and these Palestinian gunmen coming by land, by sea, and by air in the form of paragliders, something we have never seen before. I want to just explain to you what's going on behind me. We are at a checkpoint on one of the busiest highways in southern Israel. Israeli forces here are checking to make sure that none of these Palestinian gunmen who are in control of some of these southern towns are trying to make their way north, back up towards Tel Aviv, towards Jerusalem. As you said, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressing his people this morning, saying this is a nation at war. And he says this is on a magnitude far above and beyond the rounds of fighting that we have seen between Israel and Hamas over the last decade or so. This is on a scale we have not seen before. We have been watching Israeli jets overhead flying into Gaza to strike targets there. But Prime Minister Netanyahu says this is only the beginning of what will be a massive Israeli retaliation. The so-called military wing of Hamas says they launched this attack in revenge, in retaliation for Israel's mistreatment of Palestinians in the occupied West Bank in East Jerusalem. But Israel is very clear that this is an act of terrorism. I just spoke to an Israeli official who says that there were, at minimum, hundreds of Palestinian gunmen who crossed the border this morning, and he says the correct term to use here is an invasion. Now, guys, Israel has not been surprised on this scale since October 1973, almost exactly 50 years ago today, during the Yom Kippur War, when Israel was surprised by a combined Egyptian-Syrian invasion, an invasion that almost wiped this country out. That was a day that changed Israeli history forever, and this is starting to feel like another one of those days. Guys.
Raf, we know this is all unfolding right now. It's obviously an active situation, but talk to us about the hostages. What are we talking about in terms of how many people and the plan to get them back?
Laura, it is not clear right now how many Israelis have been taken hostage by Hamas, but there is no more sensitive piece of information in Israel right now than how many Israelis are inside of the Gaza Strip. The Israeli government, the Israeli people, the state of Israel puts an enormous value on getting its people back, whether they are alive or whether they are dead. And if there are live Israelis, soldiers, but especially if there are civilians inside of Gaza right now, there is almost no length that the Israeli government will not go to get them back. And it may be that this Israeli government, this extreme right Israeli government under the leadership of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, feels it has no choice but to launch a major ground offensive inside of Gaza to rescue these Israeli hostages. And if it comes to that, if there is major fighting inside of those densely populated urban centers in Gaza City, in Khan Yunis, then what is already a high death toll, likely to rise higher still. The official death toll inside of Israel, according to the Israeli emergency services, is at 22. But I can tell you guys, everyone here, based on these harrowing videos we are seeing on social media, expects that that death toll is going to rise further over the course of the day. Guys.
Undoubtedly, that is unfortunately true. Raf Sanchez, thank you for being on the ground for us. Stay safe there. Bring us more information as you get it.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.